What's up? Happy Thursday. Welcome into Let's Bet It. Lauren Jabbar here with Jared Smith. Jared, Masters starting today. Opening day starting today. It's a big day today. And I plan to just plant my little booty in front of a TV and just be constantly flipping back and forth and watching everything that's going on right now. The dogs are barking this morning.
JP loves it too. I gave him the peanut butter filled Kona a little too early. I missed that I missed that handicap this morning. I'm already 0-1 to start the day. Gave him he'll be all right. I think he just got really excited because you started talking about the Masters.
Yes.
On my screen right now, I'm watching Cam Smith warm up. He takes the course in about an hour or so.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the standings, the leaderboard pulled up now. Some guy named Guido Migliozzi, who I've never heard of. I've heard of him, but I've never really bet on him before.
Never heard of him.
He's got the lead right now. He's 2 under par through the first 3 holes. There's really not much action to report right now. Padraig Harrington's also 1 under. Garrett Kigo. There's only 3 guys right now that are under par. If something crazy happens in the next 45 minutes, I'll, do my best. Breaking news, cut in.
What was that sound?
Like the stink, like the music they play when the breaking news cut in. No, that doesn't resonate with you.
No, it resonates with me. I just think it was a little flat, little off key. It's okay.
Yeah, well, you could say that about not all of us are so vocally inclined, such as you.
I don't think that was much better, to be honest with you.
Oh, that actually sounded worse. And what was the head nod? What was this? What was going on here?
I need to do that when I'm.
Yeah, you're doing like a little shimmy shake, getting ready for golf and baseball season with your little. What is this? A rain dance?
What'd you say?
Was it like a rain dance? What was that? We're all excited for baseball season. Woo!
Let's go. I know. 7 games on the MLB slate tonight. We're actually going to be talking a little bit with Howard Bender in about 10 minutes, just about opening day, expectations for the season, his bets for the day. So make sure to stick around with that. Before, we're talking a little NBA radar. Most teams have 2 games left in the regular season. It's pretty crazy that postseason is literally right around the corner. We have the play-in games starting Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. So we're playing another game called Scoff or Yoff. After that, we have some NHL ice picks. Then we can't end without our Pickswise 3-star play of the day and our best bets of the day. So let's get right into it, my friend. Let's bet it. NBA. Yesterday, we played Scoff or Yoff with the Eastern Conference standings. So we thought, what the heck? Let's do it today with the Western Conference standings. Now, if you missed it yesterday, the premise of this whole thing is there's 4 teams right now competing for the playoffs. They're going to be playing in the play-in tournament next Tuesday and Wednesday. So we have the odds included from DraftKings. Are we scoffing one of these 4 teams to not scoff, not getting into the playoffs? Or are we yoffing where they're getting into the playoffs, which I think is a fun little play on words. Yeah. Let's start with the Clippers first. Yes, is it minus 520? No, is it plus 370? I know how I feel about this. We saw what they were able to do last night against the Suns. Granted, the Suns were resting Booker and Ayton. But your thoughts on the LA Clippers? Will they make the postseason this year?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're going to be in the 7-8 game. So that means they only have to win once. They face the Kings and the Thunder in their last 2 games. Mm-hmm. And they're secured right now in that 8th spot. I don't think they have the juice to catch Denver or the other team that's in the 7 spot. I'm pulling up the standings right now. I would say yes, but you can't bet this at minus 520.
Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely going to be in. I think the odds are telling you that they're going to be in, but not a real great betting situation.
Yeah, they definitely can't catch Denver because they're 7 games
no,
behind.
Minnesota
But
either. They're squarely in the 8 seed. They will
Yeah.
be in that 8 seed.
yeah, and so they're going to be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. So I think it's tough for me because I think, like, I was going to say Yoff to both the Timberwolves and the Clippers, but you can't. I mean, you technically can, but for me, the Clippers are older. They have depth. They crushed the Suns last night. They can get hot at the right time. They have some sharp shooters. I think that I'm going to Yoff them. I think they're going to end up in the playoffs. The team that right now is the highest odds of making the playoffs are the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have been red hot lately. Yes, is it minus 1,800, 18-1 odds? No, is it plus 880? How do we feel about the Minnesota Timberwolves making the postseason right now?
Can I be honest? This is a decent spot to bet the no. And here's why.
No, this is literally how I feel too.
Yeah, because they're going to face the Clippers in that first game. And I think the Clippers are going to win that game, which means your plus 880 is basically a 1-game money line bet against, now granted, the Spurs and the Pelicans.
It's going to be the Pels. It's going to
world beater, probably. And the Pelicans do have some really good players on their team.
Yes.
And I think that game could be a little tighter than maybe you think. So at plus 880, it's one basketball game. I think the Clippers will win that first game, and then it'll be a 1-gamer. So yeah, I would take plus 880 right now. So I'll scoff.
Yeah, scoff them. Wow. Scoff in the Timberwolves. So here's my thinking behind this. The Timberwolves can fill it up. They're okay defensively. If it's a close game and they're playing the Pelicans, I give the advantage to the Pelicans because what are they going to do? Just rely on Karl Anthony Towns' three-point shooting? You can't rely on three-point shooting, especially for 1-game play-in and for a 7-game playoff series. So for me, I kind of like to scoff them in this spot, but it's also tough. Again, these are not official bets that Jared and I are making. It's just for conversation. So let's move on to the Pelicans for a second because yes, right now they're at plus 410. No, they're at minus 590. So if it's a close game and they're playing against the Pelicans in that second play-in game, I give the advantage to the Pelicans because first of all, you look at a guy like Valanciunas, offensive rebounding, stellar. He's a problem on the glass. Then you look at a guy like McCollum. He could slow the game down. So when you're playing against a team like the Timberwolves and you have a guy like McCollum slowing the game down, especially in a 7-game series once they make the postseason, the Pels could be a problem. They have some shot makers. They're playing well right now. So I kind of like to Yoff them at this spot at plus 410. Yes, it's plus 410. No, is minus 590.
To be honest with you, I think the bet is the same. Pelicans, yes. T-Wolves, no. One of them if we're all in agreement, the Clippers are in. So there's one of the spots.
Yeah.
Now there's one more spot for 3 teams. We're getting rid of the Spurs. You're voted off the island. So now it's between T-Wolves and Pels. If you're gonna bet the T-Wolves no at plus 880, you don't need to bet the Pels yes. It's the same thing basically. At least the way that we're handicapping it. Sure, the T-Wolves could be out, and then the Pelicans could be in, and those things could also. The T-Wolves and the Pelicans could both be in simultaneously. That could happen. T-Wolves could win their first game. Pelicans then win and then win again.
Yeah.
The odds of that, I think, a lesser chance of the scenarios. So if you're betting the T-Wolves no, you don't really need to have exposure Pelicans yes. Those bets are kind of the same, and you're getting a much better price on T-Wolves no. But again, this is the precursor Clippers winning that first game. So the way to hedge that would be to bet the T-Wolves against the number in the first game. You would expect them to be underdogs. So there's ways that you can kind of space out your portfolio to move on there. But I would say pass on the Pels and just bet the T-Wolves no. But I do think the Pels.
So you already kicked the Spurs off the island. The Spurs right now is at plus 410. No is at minus 590. They're just too young for me. Not enough experience, even though Pop is one of the best coaches of all time.
The numbers saying it too, just like the Clippers. It's a tough number to bet because we like to know, but it's juiced so high you can't make any legitimate wager on it. So I think the Clippers and the Spurs are not very bettable in this spot. The T-Wolves and the Pelicans, I would say, are more bettable. So we are scoffing the Spurs.
Scoffing the Spurs. Yeah, they're just too young. They're playing well right now, but there's a lot of experience on other teams that I trust a little bit more for a play-in game. Again, they could get lucky, win one of the play-ins. They could get really lucky, win both of the play-ins. Who knows? In a one-game series, anything can kind of go, But at the same time, at this point, I don't necessarily feel 100% confident saying Yoff to the Spurs. So we're kicking them off the island, Jared Spurs. Yeah, scoff. There's so many rhyming words right now. It's tough to keep them all straight. In terms of games tonight, there's quite a few on the card. Do you have any NBA bets? I saw you were looking at Nikola Jokic props. Are those numbers out yet?
They are not, and here's why. The Grizzlies have literally nothing to play for tonight. And I just don't know, first of all, if Jokic does play, he will play, because the Nuggets do have a little bit to play for. It's basically set. They're 2 games up on the T-Wolves with 2 games to play. I haven't seen the clinch yet, which means the T-Wolves probably have the tiebreaker. But one Nuggets win or one Timberwolves loss over their last 2 games, that means the Nuggets don't really have anything to play for either, unless they want to get from the 6 to the 5, which I don't know how motivated they are to do that. There's some interesting things with the play-in game that creates this gap between the end of the regular season and the beginning of the playoffs. We heard Monty Williams talk about it last night in his post-game presser, or maybe it was the pregame presser, when asked about, resting players. And he said, I don't know how I feel about it because we're going to get a whole week off next week when the play-in games are happening.
Yeah.
Why do I need to rest players this week when we're resting next week? So the Nuggets are in that same boat. So are the Grizzlies. They have literally nothing to play for. They're locked into that 2 seed. I think it's hard to come out with numbers for props if you don't know playing time for certain guys. I haven't seen Jokic props yet. He's been on fire with the rebounds and assists. That's what I would play if I could play it. But again, the Nuggets could be up 20 in the fourth quarter and realize, hey, maybe we should take the break, pull on the brakes here because we have bigger fish to fry in the coming weeks. So for that reason, I likely will not be betting any individual game stuff with the NBA for the rest of the week until the regular season ends. I just think we're at that point where I can hit pause because we pretty much know where the seedings are. If there is a situation where there's motivation, maybe there's a team that does need to improve their standings, I'll consider it. But for the most part, I'm kind of passing on the NBA tonight and likely for the rest of the season.
He's scoffing the NBA tonight and the rest of the regular season. I'm actually looking at that Grizzlies-Nuggets game. So the Grizzlies, they've been on fire. They've won 11 of the last 13 overall. I know they lost to the Jazz on Tuesday. It snapped a 7-game winning streak. But they rallied from down 11 points with a Kyle Anderson buzzer-beating layup. But then they ended up losing in overtime. It still was a great comeback for them to get back and force overtime. Now, the Nuggets won 4 of their last 6. They did get trounced by the Spurs in their last game on Tuesday. But you look at the Grizzlies right now. They're 4-1 in the last 5 against a team with a winning record. And the Nuggets are 5-16 against the spread in their last 21 home games. Now, Memphis, they're going to be shorthanded. They've been without Ja Morant for a little while. Dylan Brooks is questionable. The Nuggets are still missing MPJ. They're still missing Jamal Murray. I like that your dog's barking because I'm betting the dogs in this game. Jeff Green is questionable due to personal reasons, but the Grizzlies have been on fire. They won 7 in a row. They can take a Nuggets team who are kind of stumbling right now. I know they don't necessarily have anything to play for, but at the same time, I trust a team that's just been a little bit more consistent than a team that's kind of falling. And if they would be falling a lot more if Nikola Jokic hasn't been playing as well as he has been playing. He's been averaging like 35 points a game. It's actually wild. But I'm sticking with the Grizzlies in this one. They've just been the more consistent team, even without Ja Morant. And I like their money line price that I'm getting at plus 160. They are 4-1 against the spread against teams with a winning record in their last 5 games. So I might also look at, I think the spread right now is they're getting 4.5 points. The Grizzlies are in this spot. I might take that as well. Just because I like that number with them, but I feel pretty good about the money line. I know that playing at altitude is tough, but at the same time, I trust the Grizzlies. They've been playing well. They've played well all season without Ja Morant. So give me that number. plus 160, Grizzlies money line. Lock it
You're
in.
not worried at all that they have literally nothing to play for?
No.
Okay.
Doesn't worry me. It
Throwing
doesn't
it
worry
out
me. Because you want to know why? It's because I've seen the Grizzlies play quite a bit this season.
Yeah.
And they're a team that, like, even though they have nothing to play for, they don't half-ass anything.
I agree.
They're young.
They're very
fun.
young. Yes.
They're energetic. They're high intensity all the time. That's what you get with a young team like that. That's why they've been so good this season. They have like a spark plug all the time. They just have a lot of.
Anytime I doubt you,
young
you
energy.
win. So you should feel good that I'm doubting you.
Yeah, I know. Usually I win. Yeah, exactly.
That's why I'm so excited for our play of the day.
Okay, before we get to our play of the day, let's bring in Howard Bender. Heard he's looking pretty spiffy in the wings right now. Howard Bender from Fantasy Alarm, host of the Andy Up podcast. Catch him on SiriusXM Fantasy. HB, how you doing today?
Yo, what's up, LJ? Jared scoffing at her Grizzlies pick,
Always.
and then your dog scoffing at you
Yes.
for making fun of her Grizzlies pick. What's going on? What am I walking into?
I get this point. I get to this point in the morning where the dog just does not like being in the cage, and he's the ultimate scoff, actually. So hopefully the dogs are barking for Lauren tonight.
Yeah, the dogs were barking for me just about 30 seconds ago. So I don't know if you turned your
Literally.
ears off for that, but you know what? Jackpot. Also, his dog Howard is named Jackpot. JP.
How cute is that?
Oh, see, I love that. I got 3 dogs. They're all sitting in the bed with their mom right now. They're all hanging out there.
They're probably much
sleeping in
better
nice
behaved
room.
than mine is.
Okay, let's get into a little MLB because we got opening day today, guys. It is officially here. 7 games on the card tonight. Let's start off by talking a little bit about the Mets. Their bullpen, Howard, already a little banged up right now with Walker being added to the list due to, I think, his right knee soreness. Should we keep our expectations low for the Mets in the month of April?
I kind of feel like you have to right now. There's a little bit of concern. Obviously, the starting rotation's banged up with Jacob deGrom being out and Max Scherzer dealing with the hamstring issue. They're going to have Tyler McGill move from like a long relief plan, and he's going to end up hanging out in the back end of that rotation while they kind of get things going. Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot's going to hinge on the Mets offense right now. The bullpen is shaky. Outside of Edwin Diaz, you've got the starters who are hurt. You need Francisco Lindor to really shake off last season. You need Pete Alonso to come out fighting strong. They're also dealing with some injuries to Brandon Nimmo in the outfield, which obviously affects their defense. So early on in the season, I'm definitely going to hedge a little bit on the Mets. I'm probably not going to be too interested in them this early on in the season right now. I'm going to keep my betting focus against the teams that are really just, we're not expecting anything out of them. Like if Jared's dog was if Jackpot was watching them right now, he'd be betting against the Nats and the Pirates and the A's, and that would be fine.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think the Mets are an interesting team, and I'm actually betting on them today, and here's why. So did you know, fun fact, that all time on opening day, the best record in the history of baseball, winning percentage-wise, belongs to the New York Metropolitans. 39-21 all time on opening day. They started their tenure 0-8, and they've won now 39 of the last 52. What does that mean for this year's team? Nothing. Obviously, I'm not solely betting on it just because they've won 39 of the last 52 on opening day. And I'm actually not even betting on the money line. I'm betting on the first 5. But I do like the right-handed pop that they have in the lineup against Patrick Corbin, who struggles against righties. So, Davis and Alonso combined 8 home runs, 13 RBIs in their careers against Patrick Corbin. So I don't trust the Mets bullpen fully. And while I love that trend, it's a fun trend, and it's one I talk about every season on opening day. For some reason, the Mets are the best April team in the history of baseball. I do think the first 5 has a little bit of value, and I don't really like this Nats team. I think the Nats, to me, are a fade, Howard. I think the under 70.5 on their wins is interesting for me just because of the distractions with Juan Soto, with his contract, and the injury to Steven Strasburg to start the season, and just overall their talent level is pretty poor. They lost 97 games last year, and they didn't show any improvement. Your overall thoughts on the Nats and the National League East, which I think is a very interesting division. Marlins maybe underachieve. Braves maybe overachieve after their World Series? How do you see these NL East playing out with the Nats kind of, bringing up the caboose maybe?
It's kind of funny, actually. I did bet the Nats on the under their 70.5 wins totals there because, yeah, they are pretty desolate. I mean, even bringing in Nelson Cruz, he's definitely having some trouble keeping up with some of the better fastballs this spring. So that's something that you're going to have to pay attention to as well for them. I feel like the NL East is going to be very similar to the AL East, and I'm a little concerned about. I didn't bet any wins totals for either division, right? I mean, strictly because I think that all of these teams have improved. You've got the Braves, the Mets definitely are better team. The Phillies are definitely, with the exception of their defense, they're definitely a better team. The Marlins are a sneaky team. So what I kind of worry about a little bit here is that these teams, because this is the last year of the unbalanced schedule. So they're still going to play each other, 17, 18 times. I feel like these teams are going to kind of beat up on each other a little bit. And that's going to actually affect the wins totals. You're going to, if I'm looking at a wins total, I want to, give me a central team that's out of it. Give me a Western team that's got a much more of an imbalanced division there. So I think it's going to be a great battle for the NL East. I actually just made my pick yesterday as far as to win that division. I think the Braves win that division, but I think the Phillies kind of come in as a sneaky wild card pick.
Yeah, I was actually going to ask about the NL East race a little bit. We saw last year, obviously, the battle for first can get a little bit contentious. How much more difficult do a sneaky team like the Marlins make the NL East race? And do they have a chance to maybe, be kind of like the Giants of last season, which no one kind of expected a lot from them, and they overperformed?
Yeah, that was a serious overperformance there for the Giants. I don't know if the Marlins, because the Marlins are a much younger team. The Giants, they did it last year with all of those veterans that they brought in, a lot of rehab players, can we fix Kevin Gossman? Can we fix Anthony DeSclafani? And that's really kind of what went down for the Giants last year. I think the Marlins right now, listen, I love Sandy Alcantara. I think he can compete for the Cy Young. I love the lefty Trevor Rogers. I think he's got some phenomenal talent there as well. Their bullpen, they just shored it up with adding Tanner Scott and Cole Sulser from the Marlins, from the Orioles. So I do think that the Marlins are going to be one of those sneaky teams where, division leaders split with them in a lot of the series. Maybe they don't just absolutely dominate them. Like, you'll see the Brewers just beat up on the Pirates all season long, but I don't see teams doing that with the Marlins, which is why I think it kind of levels out that playing field and it makes those wins totals really tough to bet.
Yeah, let's get into some more win totals. By the way, my preview column on Pickswise.com dropped late last night. In that column, 3 win totals, 1 player prop, and 1 division futures parlay, which FanDuel is the only book that lets you parlay division futures. So we talked a little bit about win totals. I won't give away the whole farm here because I want you to go to Pickswise.com and read this. You got a few hours before the season starts, so you got time still. But I'll give you my favorite one from the column, Howard, and I'll let you chew into it. And it kind of goes into what you were saying about a central division team that plays in a much weaker division where the over, I think, is in play. It's the Minnesota Twins. And I got this number at 79.5. I loved what the Twins did in the offseason. People forget because of the lockout, they have Carlos Correa on their team.
Yeah.
At the shortstop position, arguably the best shortstop in the league. They also beefed up Sonny Gray to get their rotation a little bit harder. I think Maeda, listen, they didn't have I know they traded away Barrios too. The rotation scares me. The rotation for Minnesota scares me, but they play in a very bad division. And I think they've got maybe the best offense in that division. They definitely have the best player. Byron Buxton per game before he got hurt was the best player in baseball last year. You add Correa to that mix. So I love this Twins team. 79.5. That means they have to finish 1 game under 500, and I hit this bet. Or 2 games. 80 and 82 is a winner for me. How do you feel about the Twins this year?
Well, I'm glad you wanted to talk about the Twins. The way you were setting it up, I was like, is he going to, pee all over my Yankees right now? And
I'm a Yankees fan. I don't want to pee all over them.
I was feeling the vapors there. You were setting me up. I was like, oh my no, don't do this to me on opening day, Jared. It's an interesting bet with the Twins. It really is. I do agree with you. The rotation is going to be a little bit suspect. I'm really anxious to see what Joe Ryan puts together there. I really am. I'm a little unnerved by the trade that they just made this morning, sending their closer, Taylor Rogers, over to the Padres. So I'm like, wait a minute here.
Did that happen this morning?
Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Here, I'll just pull it up for you right now, just so we can all be sad together here. But
yeah, that makes me feel a little worse. I wonder why they would make that deal. Their rotation and their pitching staff already was kind of
Taylor Rogers and Brent Rooker to the Padres, with Chris Paddock going back to the I
don't mind that, though. Listen, Paddock's got a little giddy up to him, and he's got a little spunk. I don't mind that if they feel like their bullpen's deep enough, because they need starters, too.
Mm-hmm.
They got a big league guy back. I like that.
Yeah, they got a decent piece back. I'm curious as to see what they do with this. I guess Jorge Alcala would be the guy to move into that closer's role.
I love them trading their closer on opening day. That is,
right?
It's just your casual trade on opening day.
They drop that bomb on you here.
Yeah. Of course, right after I make them my favorite futures.
Seriously.
But you know what? I mean, listen. I'm sorry.
You go first.
I was just going to say that the Twins are a 73-win team last year, right? So, to say, are they better now than they, like 3.5 wins better now than they were last year? I do think so. Cleveland is a mess. We already know that, right? I mean, the only team that they're really competing with in that division right now are the White Sox, although I do think that the Tigers come in as a little bit of a sneaky team.
I do like the Tigers. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing about the Tigers.
Detroit, baby. Let's go. We're on the up and up.
77.5.
We're on the up and up.
Was 79.5. That, the Twins have so much more talent than the Tigers. The fact that the win total was only 2 more, I thought was a little interesting.
It was a little interesting. I think, the Twins definitely have they have a group of better starters there. I do believe that. I'm not ready to invest in the Matt Mannings and the Casey Mizes of the season. But I got to tell you, man, Spencer Torkelson making the opening day roster. Riley Green was going to. If I didn't break his foot, that was a sneaky little rookie of the year play that I sprinkled a little on for you there, Jared. And now he's out for, probably at least a month and a half now to the season. So I definitely think that, the Tigers will be competitive. I think that the White Sox are going to probably run away with this division a little bit. But I do like the Twins to come up with an 80-win season. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna speak out against that, because I think the Cleveland Indians got so bad in the offseason that they're gonna give away a lot. And and then there's the Royals.
Yeah. Let's take it out to the West Coast for a second, because you mentioned the Padres obviously just had that trade on the casual opening day trade. But Fernando Tatis Jr. is injured and he's going to be missing for quite some time. Do you think that they're going to be able to stay afloat without him in such a competitive division that they're in?
I mean, that's a tough one right there. I think that the Dodgers own that division anyway. I don't
1,000%.
Yeah, I don't see the Giants competing again. I mean, I know the Giants were a 107-win team last year. That
was insane how much they overperformed last season.
It was really insane. And and the funny thing is I'm out here in the Bay Area, so I have to listen to the birds chirping in my ear about how amazing. And it's just like 2010 all over again. And, oh my God, it's
back in my day.
Oh man, it's brutal here sometimes. It really is. So. But, listen, I think that they kind of take their step backwards here, and the Padres are supposed to take that step forward. They need to just play decent ball. They don't need to be outlandish here in the first couple of months while Tatis is out. You just need to kind of toe the line, because the Rockies are a terrible team right now. Arizona is even more atrocious than they are. So the Padres and the Dodgers are going to be able to kind of throw down here, beat up the Giants a little bit, and then take care of the 2 bottom feeders. So I don't think that the Padres are going to need to do a whole lot right now. When Tatis does come back, they're going to need a run. They're going to need one of those, the 12-2 in their last 14 games. They're going to need some sort of a push like that. But I definitely see them with the way the landscape of the National League is right now. I could easily see the Padres coming out here winning, 89, 90 games this season, and then turn around and take that one of those wild card spots, since there are 3 now.
Yeah, the Padres, I think, got kind of pushed aside by what the Giants did last year. By the way, the Giants are one of my season win totals on Pickswise.com. And I think there's going to be
quick plug,
massive. Listen, we got to get the clicks up.
I love it.
How we make our money here on Pickswise. So I do think the Giants are due for some regression. I think the Padres might be one of the teams that's best suited to capture some of that equity. All right. I promised this on Twitter this morning. Jack knows this. I gave it to him last night. Last year, one of my MLB sources was very kind enough to give me Corbin Burns first week of the year to win the NL Cy Young. Probably one of the better bets I've ever made in my life. Well, we're going back to the well with this source again, and he gave me a long shot in the futures market, Howard, and I'm going to let you go to this one. I don't bet a ton of these. I don't really like the season leaders market because there's so much crap that can happen in the season. But Ryan Mountcastle to lead the American League, lead the major league in home runs is 80-1. I know it's crazy. It's a long shot. It's supposed to be crazy. Last year in April, nobody thought Corbin Burns was going to win the Cy Young either. And look at what happened. So I trust this guy. He knows his shit. He thinks Mountcastle's due for a big year. He plays in a hitter's park. There's no one else in that Orioles lineup that's going to do anything. He's going to be the centerpiece. He had 33 home runs last year, and that was his rookie season, basically. I think he can build on that this year and get to 40. Does Mountcastle have any hope of being a home run slugger at the top of the charts this year in the bigs?
I have a little trouble with it, right? I mean, they moved the fences back over and left in Camden Yards. That's definitely going to affect some guys on the power train there as well. I like Mountcastle. I really do. I think that he's a quality bat. Is he a 40 home run bat? He's going to be facing, the pitching that he's facing in the AL East right now. I mean, like you said earlier, the Blue Jays, they beefed it up with Barrios and Gossman. You still have Garrett Cole and company for the Yankees. The usual suspects over there in Boston. You've got an upstart guy in Shane McClanahan leading the charge for the Rays. So I do worry a little bit about the pitching that he's going to face and the ballpark factors. We're really not sure exactly how this is going to play. It's probably going to affect more of the right-handed dead pull hitters. And I don't think Mountcastle is a dead pull hitter here. So, again, I'm like you. I don't really like to bet these kind of futures.
The reason I bet it is because he won me a shitload of money last year, and I would at least give him a shout on this show today.
This guy's costing you a lot of money in the swear jar too, right?
I know. Seriously, put another quarter in there, Jared.
Put
another quarter.
Sorry, I forgot that we have virgin ears on the show.
I'm so sensitive.
I'm so sensitive, so innocent. Okay, Howard, before we let you go, obviously there's 7 games on the slate tonight. Are there any games that you're specifically looking at or any bets that you made tonight for day one of MLB action?
For day one, you know what? I did not make any bets flat out. I would have taken the Mariners on their money line tonight had that not got pushed off. I actually, and maybe this is a little boring for the Pickswise audience, but I just love opening day so much.
Yes.
That I love to just really I've got my wins totals bets. I've got my futures bets. I built a DFS lineup just to have it for opening day, but I like to just sit and watch baseball and not think about anything else on opening day. Tomorrow, on the other hand, I'm all over the Yankees on the money line. I'm all over the Yankees on the run line, but because it's against Boston, and I don't care if I start off with an L. But listen, like opening day for me, this is my national holiday, right? I sat there last night, and my wife was like, "Why are you still awake?" It's like 9:30. She's like, "Why are you still awake?" I'm like, "Because baseball's tomorrow."
Wait,
so
first of all, 9:30, Howard. That's early. You should still be awake at 9:30.
Listen, it is 7:30 in the morning right now, and this boy is camera ready. I am an early riser. I got old, and I started waking up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning every
Oh
day.
my
So
gosh.
9:30 at night on the couch, if I'm not doing the bob and weave, well, then there's no justice there.
Lauren loves it. Before we get Howard off, I'll give him
Thanks
my
for holding it together, Jared.
I'm trying. Before we move on from baseball, so I have two bets officially on my baseball card today. The Mets first 5 money line -112 on FanDuel, and Shane Bieber over 6.5 strikeouts. Now, this is kind of a contrarian play for me because I gave out Shane Bieber under 235.5 strikeouts for the season on my column last night. But I do think Shane starts the season strong. I'm a little bit concerned about the length that he's going to be able to give long term because he's coming off the shoulder injury.
Mhm.
But here are the notes that I have on Shane Bieber, Howard. So he owns the Royals, and that to me is 21 strikeouts and 15 1/3 last year against this lineup. Good strikeout percentages against Salvi, 46%, Carlos Santana, 42, and Hunter Dozier, 36. And I think 6.5 for Bieber. Usually he's an 8.5 kind of guy with the strikeout totals. And I tend to keep track of these. I try to keep track of them as much as I can because I love the K props. But what's your vibe on Bieber to start the year coming off the shoulder injury?
It's interesting. I watched him pitch a couple of times. I watched him throw a couple of times this spring, and he did look really good. Yeah, I'm not going to take anything away from the recovery. My only concern, I think it's a fine bet, and it's a bet. It's a strikeout prop that I definitely would have done as well. My only concern here early on is obviously this abbreviated spring training and what managers are going to kind of hold guys back. Let them just throw 5 and go from there. Now, Bieber's got that K rate that allows him.
You get 7 in 5 innings.
Right, exactly. So that he can do that. So I worry about, how managers are going to push some of their starters a little bit early, especially because we are seeing a lot of the starting pitchers like DeGrom, like Luis Castillo, like these guys are all starting, dealing with like some tightness in the shoulder and just a little bit of soreness there. So, I kind of worry about that. I'd rather go, you know what? And I'm going to do it right after I'm off this show here. I'm just going to put money on an anytime home run for Pete Alonso.
I like it.
Going up against Patrick Corbin, right? The lefty.
It.
I don't care what his sinker looked like this spring. That dude is like a piñata, and everybody takes a swing at him. So
I love it.
And if JD Davis is in the lineup, I'm with you on that one too, Jarrett. I'll put money on an anytime home run for JD Davis against him too.
I think he will be. Why wouldn't
he
be? Would he hurt? Like, it's opening day, for crying out loud. What do you, what is, why would I think
you got a few months to just take some time off.
So I've got 2 bets on my card. Those are the only official baseball plays we're giving out. I got a unit on Bieber at even odds at PointsBet, and I got a unit on the Mets first 5 money line. I don't trust the Mets bullpen enough to play them full game money line. And I saw some sharp reverse line movement coming in. I don't know if that matters at this stage of the season, but the Nats are getting a little sharp money this morning.
Yeah,
that didn't move against the Mets. So that's what I'm on. I've got tons of futures plays too on the Pickswise.com column. So baseball season, Howard. Let's go, man.
Baseball. Wait, Howard, I actually have one more question for you before we let you go. What is your favorite win total bet that you made?
Good question.
Oh, that was the Nats. Under.
Okay.
It was 70.5. It was the Nats and the A's. They're both my favorite teams. Both these teams are just bereft of talent right now. And I got them at 70.5. I know that the A's total dropped as they kept unloading players.
Wow, it's 8.5 now at Caesars. Wow.
Right. So I got it at 70.5 before they unloaded the whole farm with that. So those are my 2 favorite unders for the entire season. And I'll tell you what, my sneaky over, you watch the Seattle Mariners.
Okay.
Everyone's on them. I saw that's what scares me. They're like, everyone loves the Mariners this year. That scares me. But I see it. I definitely see it. Wow, the Athletics are down to 66 at Westgate.
That's crazy. That's actually crazy.
Crap, Howard.
Howard, we love having you on. We'll be talking to you throughout the baseball season. Howard Bender
Great
from
stuff,
Fantasy Alarm. Best of luck. Well, actually, enjoy it and just enjoy your day watching opening day today. And good luck to your Yankees tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
I got you. Sending you good vibes.
Yanks.
Ooh, yeah.
Howard, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me, guys. Always a pleasure.
Opening day, baby.
I need to make
Starts
some hot
today.
dogs. Maybe I'll order some hot dogs for lunch, right? Some frankfurters,
of
with some
162.
kraut and mustard. What's your go-to hot dog? Like, what do you put on your hot dog when you go to?
I'm a weirdo when it comes to hot dogs at a baseball game. I know like mustard is the thing you have to do. I am a straight up ketchup girl. Do not even
I knew you'd be
near me. I don't want to smell it. I don't want to look at it. I don't even want to see it. Get it out of here. Ketchup all the way.
You don't like sauerkraut?
No. A good ballpark Frank is just your traditional dog. You got the wiener, you got the bun, you got the ketchup on the top. And you're just eating it. It's really good.
The chat's gonna start going crazy if you keep talking wieners. So let's
let's move on to NHL. I actually cannot wait though to have like a bag of peanuts, a hot dog, and a good cold beer, and just sitting there at a baseball game. Like that is summertime for me, and I am so excited. And I'm here in Atlanta, so I get to watch the reigning World Series champs play this season. I'm really, really excited about it. Okay, let's move on to hockey. Obviously, a lot of good games going on tonight. We are on the same game. We're betting it different ways. So let's actually do our Pickswise 3-star play of the day first, because I know both of our hockey bets are our best bets of the day, which have been happening the last couple of days. Who do we got on Pickswise.com for 3-star plays today?
Hold on one second. I'm doing a refresh. Actually, I can't pull up the 3 stars right now, so let's not do that.
Let's get into our best bets of the day then.
Let's
Make sure to go to Pickswise.com, because we don't even know what the 3-star bets are. So we're going to go to Pickswise.com after the show and see what we got for 3-star play of the days. Oh, the site is down right now. Sad. Well, we'll go in a little bit when the site's not down. So let's talk NHL and our best bets of the day, Jared. Obviously, we're talking about the Pens taking on the Rangers, and we are betting this game in 2 different ways. I'll let you go first and be a homer betting your Rangers, and then I'll tell you why the Pens are going to win.
I'm not being a homer. I have legitimate reasons why I think the Rangers.
Let's hear it.
I love this goaltending matchup for Shesterkin. He's had 4 days off. He hasn't played since a bad game for him. He gave up 3 goals to the Flyers on Sunday. And Jari has been an absolute mess. I mean, your dad smoked him the other night. He's 1-4 in his last 5. The only win is over the Wings. And also he has 2 losses to the Rangers in that 5-game span.
Which they did win 11-2, I will say.
They did, but that was the Wings, who are awful. And
they're better this season. Tisk, tisk.
No.
Don't talk about my hometown team like that.
Yeah. Okay, Homer. We want to talk homers. The Rangers 8 goals in 2 games against Jari in the last 2 weeks. And I think this Pens team is just kind of a fade right now. They've lost 3 of 4. They gave up 6 goals to the Avs on Tuesday. Your Avs came into PPG and just dropped the lead.
They are the best team in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, they painted them up good at PPG Paints Arena. Double coat with the primer and everything. I mean, it just went Bob the Builder style on him.
Okay, enough of that.
And I know this line is flipped a little bit at Westgate. Let me check right now. I'm on the baseball page right now because I was looking at those. I can't believe Howard got the A's at 70. They're down to 66.
Yeah.
You don't see win totals move that much in baseball. The A's just, man, oh man. All right, sorry, I'll stop stalling. This is flipped a little bit. Right now, the Rangers are minus 105. I saw this last night at plus 102. Just a straight-up money line, not the 3-way, straight-up money line. And I thought to myself, Rangers as a home dog with Shesterkin in net doesn't pass the smell test. At minus 105, obviously I like it slightly less, but I still would play it there. Listen, I just think the Rangers are playing better right now. Coming off a nice win over the Devils, got that monkey off their back after got their butts kicked by New Jersey a couple weeks ago. And I think arrested Shesterkin is going to shut it down tonight. And the Rangers need this game. They want home ice in the first round. And they're 6 points up on the Pens right now for that spot. So I think they put the hammer down tonight and pretty much cement home ice. And Rangers money line plus 102. Mark it down, baby.
Okay, I'm going to be on the other side tonight. I have the Pens three-way money line at plus 140. Yeah, they won over the Wings 11-2. They have struggled a little bit, I will say. They lost 3 of their last 4. Their one win was against the Wild in overtime. They forced overtime. The Pens have also lost 5 of the last 7, but 3 of those games have only been by 1 goal. They've been competitive, and they've been playing extremely, extremely tough teams. Now, yeah, the Avs might have painted them. Back-to-back losses against the best team in the National Hockey League. You can't really fault a team for that. The Avs are absolute firepower. Any team playing against the Avs is kind of screwed at this point. And yeah, the Pens are 5-4-1 in their last 10 games, but they have played to a 55.3% expected goals rate. I know Tristan Jarry over the last month, his Vezina Trophy odds have slipped a little bit. I don't think that should last long. They're extremely healthy right now. They're going to have a balanced roster. And the Rangers are only 3-3-1 in the last 7 games against teams that are not in playoff contention. 5-0 in the last 5 games against teams who are in postseason, and Chris Kreider has been phenomenal. But the play of the team overall hasn't necessarily been that dominant, especially after the moves that they made. I thought that they were going to be crushing right now. I know Shesterkin, he's struggled a little bit lately. He does have a .933 save percentage on the season. This is going to be an extremely intense matchup, Jared. But Pittsburgh, they have 22 road wins on the season. That's tied for the second most in the league. I just think the Pens need this game a lot more. Never underestimate motivation in a game like this. If they lose this game, they fall 6 points back of the Rangers with 10 games left of the season. I know fading the Rangers isn't necessarily the fun thing to do, but the Pens have the talent for me to tie up the season series. I think they could put together a strong effort. And Shesterkin and the power play have been big factors for the Rangers. Their 5-on-5 play hasn't been great. So I say take advantage of the line right now when Shesterkin is playing at a human level, which he has been. Because before that, he's been playing at a godly level. So I like the Pens as an underdog in this spot. They're really good on the road this season with 22 road wins. Give me the Pens. Give me the underdog, 3-way money line, plus 160. Love getting it at that value. And they're going to take advantage of Shesterkin when he's not necessarily playing at the godly level that we're used to seeing from Igor Shesterkin this season. Lock it in.
I don't mind it, but I get it. I just don't agree with it, and we'll see.
You know what? That's why we're on opposite sides. May the best, better man, woman win.
Best, better, win.
Yes.
By the way, I apologize. The site is up. I just, for some reason, my Firefox refresh wasn't working when.
Also, wait. Firefox?
Yeah, we've talked.
You are using Firefox? Who in the hell?
Be kind.
Firefox. There is Chrome. There is Safari. There is.
I like Firefox. What do you want from me? I like the fire of the fox. I like the fox makes my brain happy when I see him going in circles there. I don't know. Does it really matter? At least I don't use Microsoft Edge.
No. We are ending the show on that because
we have a 3-star. We have a 3-star play.
Is that a red flag or a deal breaker, Jared? It's a deal breaker for me. Firefox.
That's okay. Luckily, deal breakers come in twos. There's other ones too. I don't know what I'm saying right now. All right, Brewers. Kyle Lupus. I actually don't know Kyle. I haven't come across him yet. But I'm sure he's great. We had a great best bets record last year, 3 stars on the site. He's on the Brewers at minus 165. This line has moved considerably. It's like minus 200 now. So be careful with laying that. But here's an interesting way you can play it. Brewers first 5 money line and Brewers full game money line is even odds at DraftKings. I don't hate that. I'm not betting this one. Too juicy for me on day one, but good luck. Brewers money line, 3-star play of the day over.
3-star play of the day. Check that out and more at Pickswise.com. That's it for us today. Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to Pickswise.com. Follow us on Twitter. Happy Masters. Happy opening day. Happy end of the NBA season. Happy almost end of the NHL season. Follow us on Twitter, Jared Smith. I'm Lauren Jabara. Also, guys, let's help Jared get off this Firefox kick, okay? That's it for us today. We'll see you tomorrow. Let's get it. Let's bet it.